Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aloha Press YouTube show and podcast.
Wearing all black.
Aloha! Here with JC and Jeff.
Ain't no time for school today.
Hitting bombs.
Hey, watch this punch cut lob wedge. Replace your Marshalls with Cart Girls. They're better looking. They're serving drinks.
Got to hit bombs off the tee.
Phil talking about a guy taking a shit in the cut.
Mahalo!
That's what we did fireside with Phil.
Fire at the stick.
Hit bomb and attack the pin.
All right. Anyways, we'd like to thank our sponsors like we do every week. I'm supporting Wade's Farm here. Also, Colt Merriman, personal trainer out in Sacramento and Amador County. Hit him up. Dominic Vicari at Motivate, Personal Fitness Academy in Sutter Creek. Amador Sons, Edwards and Associates, Creations Inc. Dylan, Aloha Products. They make anything from snowboards to tee markers, we found out. Matic Vukovic Insurance, Bo Gilman gave a little shout out today on Instagram if you saw that with the cup you sent him. Nurserybuilders.com. This guy will come to your house, put up wallpaper, security systems, build your cribs, keep your kids safe. And my favorite, the daily romance stories. I mean, this guy's going to write about love, maybe personal stories, maybe fan stories. I don't know, but it's definitely going to be worth every dollar.
That was fucking beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aloha Press podcast and YouTube show. My name is JC. Today, I'm joined today with multiple co-hosts. Jeff, welcome. Ben, welcome.
Hey, I will say this. I actually was excited to do the show today, even though I'm dead tired, because I know in major championship week, Ben's going to join us. So yes. I was a little, mix it up a little bit. I was excited.
Ben, introduce yourself again. I mean, you make a guest, appearance every once in a while. This year's special because we get 6 majors, and we're gonna bring you along this journey. So introduce yourself again, buddy.
Major week, so I'm here, right? So Ben, last name, no last name here.
Well, gentlemen, let's get into it. I need your guys' reaction. I mean, week 1. You would think we'd be talking about week 1 in the NFL, but we're not. We are talking about week 1 in the PGA Tour. I mean, the FedEx Cup has reset, and they kicked it off in the smoky Wine Country Open, the Safeway Classic or whatever it's called, out in Napa. Ben, let's start with you, buddy. I mean, let's get your takeaways of the weekend. I mean, we had some surprising events happen. Was it a shock when your boy Stuart Sink walked away with the Wine Barrel Trophy?
Big fan. No, not really. I mean, look, the guy ripped everybody's hearts out 11 years ago against, Tom Watson, and here he finally made his way back. He was never quite, Stuart Sink was never quite the same player after he, I think it affected him beating up on a 62-year-old man, but he's back.
It's yes. 47. I mean, Tom Watson definitely was making history and warmed all our hearts 11 years ago. It's always good to see the old guy win, but this week the old guy did win. And when I'm sitting here talking to a couple of fine gentlemen who have played some pretty good golf, I mean, Jeff, when you see Stuart Sink walk away and he's kissing his wife, he's got his kid carrying the bag. I mean, there's still hope. I mean, there's still hope that you two could get on the PGA Tour. I mean, he's fucking 47. Holy shit. I mean, boys, get to the range and start practicing, right, Jeff?
Well, hey, he's 47, but he can still kick our fucking ass.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that. And like I said, I didn't watch any of the tournament. I saw your text come through after I woke up late yesterday about, who's these 2 guys battling down the stretch, the old dude and the fat guy. So I had to pause it and watch a little bit. Is it Harry Higgs? Is that what his name is?
Yes, Harry Higgs.
Harry Higgs, my new favorite player, first off. He likes to get upset and scream and yell a little bit. But the only 2 takeaways I have from this week, and then you guys can talk about it because I didn't watch or care, is 1, I lost the bet to you because Phil didn't make the top 10. He wasn't even fucking close. And then 2, I got a little bit of enjoyment when I watched Jordan Spieth fuck up on his last hole and miss the cut. So
it's, Jordan Spieth is playing some great golf right now. I mean, it's nothing like double bogeying the 18 on a Friday to to fly across the country to go start your U.S. Open venture out at Wingfoot. It was entertaining for me. I'm not a huge Jordan Spieth fan, as we've been documenting on this podcast. He is, in my particular opinion, soft and probably could not handle the smoke or what the telecast refer to it as, a light haze, in the state of California. So you guys are in the state of California. How bad is the actual smoke? I mean, Ben, do I need an oxygen mask when I come back to California here in a couple weeks? I mean, what's it like out there?
Days ago, maybe, but we're good now. It's clearing out. But real quick, back to Jordan Spieth. If he's making doubles on that last hole there, wait until this next week.
Well, and we'll get to the U.S. Open. You guys stay tuned. Our part 2 of our YouTube and podcast show will be released on Wednesday before the tournament, which I'm excited about. The Napa, it usually is one of those events that's kind of fun to watch, because you got some guys who are trying to chase down usually their first victory, like Cameron Champ, who decided not to participate, one of our local guys here in Sacramento. But it looks like one of those events that I would enjoy going to. Not because the smoke-filled air, but I think my wife would enjoy mostly because it's in beautiful wine country.
You would love it there. Obviously, we would all drink way too much red wine and probably stumble out late to the tournaments. But the thing about that course, did you see our boy Ricky Barnes, another local that played pretty well? And
Stockton's finest.
Right? Stockton's fine. But you know what? When you talked about, what's his name, Cameron Champ, didn't show up. The dude's won one time on tour, right? That was his only win. You're not that big of a deal to not go defend your title.
No, you're absolutely not. And it's frustrating, especially because you're so close to, the community that you grew up in. It's especially with President Trump coming into town. You thought that, you'd really stand up and, set a precedence and really set an example for your community and to find folks that, are sacrificing a lot to keep you and your family safe, especially with all the fires going on. It really kind of just pissed me off because someone that with his, with his game, I thought it was a good opportunity to defend and bring another star to the event to actually, keep the PGA Tour, entertaining. Instead, we got to watch Harry Higgs with his low cut, chesties hanging out and his man boobs when he is jogging back and forth from the green. I mean, let's get into the tournament because Sunday actually coming down the stretch was a bit entertaining. I mean, you've got Harry Higgs, the younger guy who's chewing tobacco and legit. He looks like a guy I've met before. I think I have met him. I think I was drinking. I think he might've been, he reminds me of a guy who walks around in like boat shoes and like, one of those deep V tees and is just kind of an asshole when you talk to him because he's drinking wine and it's just kind of, I don't know where I'm going, but he just doesn't look like a guy that would hang out with us.
You don't think so?
He's not the guy on tour that's in the gym. He's in the bar.
Well, yeah, I think he could be our friend. I think he's
maybe
he'd fucking love to eat some fucking tri-tip out of the old barrel cooker you gave me here. Have one too many whiskeys, get shit faced, smoke a cigar, maybe fall down the hill. I don't know.
I mean, maybe you're
Last
right.
Saturday.
I don't know. I mean, it's I was reading his bio and he's played with George W. Bush and if he wasn't a professional golfer, he'd want to be president. And I just don't know if I could hang out with a guy like that. But
How old is he?
I think he's like 26, 27.
He has the physique. He has the physique of our current president.
He does. It's very round.
Yes. The one thing I realized watching Sunday without Phil being in the mix, without Jordan Spieth being the guy, I realized that a guy who used to be like really, I mean, he's won $35 million in his career, Stewart Cink. I realized that that the telecast does not do a great job of highlighting some of these other folks because the final 8 groups, I only knew one guy and it was Stewart Cink, which is kind of sad.
Well, I thought Stewart Cink was on the Champions Tour. I didn't even know he was still playing PGA Tour events.
I thought he was still
he's only 47.
I thought he was still filming commercials with
He should be doing Skechers commercials with Matt Kuchar.
Exactly. I mean, he is on the brink, but the scary thing is Phil Mickelson is 50. Tiger Woods is 44. I mean, do we really need these old guys around? I mean, Stuart Sink, like the worst thing that the PGA Tour could have done was let that guy win, because now we got to watch him for the next 3 years at the Napa, because he's not skipping that fucking thing.
That's a trip for his wife. Like I think Jeff said it last week, right? It's more of a vacation week than it is anything else.
Yes.
I completely agree. So let's wrap up the Napa. Jeff, how do we properly wrap up a golf tournament?
We say that it's fucking horrible. We're over it. And let's go to the next thing.
All right, let's go to the next thing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's, it's funny because we talk about, week one of the PGA Tour. We talk about the NFL season, and everyone was like, it's kind of a down week. And then you kind of look at the highlights, or if you read the newsletter, you realize that, you've got a PGA Tour event, which is the first FedEx Cup event, which is scary to think that Stuart Sink and Dustin Johnson, now Stuart Sink is the number one FedEx Cup player in the world, which is scary. But then you've got a major championship, and I missed it. Like I like on Sunday, I'm driving home from the beach, and I don't even know when the fucking telecast was on. It was kind of sad. Like it was, it kind of got just dismissed and washed away with the rest of the golf entertainment this week.
Problem, you have so many sporting events on because of COVID pushing everything back. Like I don't even know what channel they showed on. Was it even on Golf Channel because the ANA?
I don't know. Jeff, you caught some of it. I mean,
it was on the Golf Channel like 5-6 o'clock at night on Sunday.
Basically, you should know that. It probably should be me, but that's okay.
Yeah. You should be.
Hey, I enjoyed it. I watched the last couple holes, and then I watched the playoff, and I had to listen to Dottie Pepper, but that back, whatever they called it, the backboard,
yes,
was ridiculous. And actually, Brooke Henderson wouldn't even have made the playoff if that thing wasn't there, because she hit one coming in hot from about 214 that would have been 40 feet into the water.
Well, and that was what. So I went back and I watched some of the highlights of the actual golf tournament, and I'm staring at the golf tournament and I'm realizing, like, is Trump in town? Because he just built the fucking wall behind hole 18. Okay, on a par 5. Like, the golf course clearly is playing rock hard fast. I mean, it's 115 degrees out there. They're playing on fucking Poana. I know that course is just dried up, and it's a major championship. But then I see, right, Brooke Henderson shoves it into the rough on the left. She hits like 5 wood, like 200 yards, but like directly into the fucking wall, where the wall like sucked up the golf ball and it was just gone. And then her caddy's like under the wall. It was a bad presentation of golf, and it seemed like it was it kind of put a black eye in the LPGA, major championship, which really that's not like kind of acceptable when it comes to a golf tournament. Now, the thing that I want to address is we haven't seen a lot of walls lately or grandstands that generally would be propped up behind greens. And it just shows that for the everyday golfer, like if you airmail a green, like you're usually having to get up and down in a pretty tough spot, right? I mean, Ben, what do you think about the wall placement?
First of all, I saw like JT played a little Monday morning quarterback today and was like calling it out. You watch guys on tour all the time fire it into the back wall or whatever into the grandstands because there is that backboard there. So like those guys should be the last people because they get more grandstands, more breaks from TV towers, anything than anybody else gets.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, if it's there, if it's on the golf course, I don't know. I guess they've earned that right? Question mark.
I guess so. It's just it was kind of crazy to watch. And then but the thing that we have to, I mean, that was a big story, but I mean, the girl, which I'm going to screw up her name, but Miriam Lee from Korea, I mean, she's one of the very limited Korean players who had actually made the trek over to the United States to play in a major championship. The lady that was actually defending the tournament did not make the journey. And she comes over here on the final day on Sunday and chips in 3 times. I mean, Jeff, when's the last time you chipped in 3 times, let alone win a major championship?
I don't know if I've ever chipped in 3 times in a round of golf. Maybe a couple times, but dude, she just had no nerves coming down the stretch. Nelly Korda, she got a little nervous there, had to lay up both times on 18 on her final hole and in the playoff and try to hit a wedge in, and she couldn't do it. And then Brooke couldn't get it done, and she just stepped up, freaking down the middle, back of the green, chipping a putt, and she's the champion.
It was absolutely incredible, and I got to watch the final like few minutes of the the trophy ceremony, which was rather different. I'll say, because this particular golf tournament's known for the winner and the caddy getting the opportunity to jump in the pond, and she did not appear like she was made aware that she's going to have to get into the water after she made the victory, because she is not dressed like a major championship. I mean, she's wearing a white shirt. What are we doing? I mean, I get you want to increase viewership with a major championship, and you're battling against the NFL. I mean, you're battling against the Napa, the Smoky Open, but the wet T-shirt contest is not an appropriate way to celebrate a major championship. I mean, I felt a little offended. I mean, it's, you increase viewership. I mean, everyone tuned in. They all enjoyed it on the newsletter. I mean, Ben, let's start with you, buddy. I mean, what T-shirt contests at end of LPGA events might bring in some more viewerships, right?
Not going to not bring them in. But, I mean, I guess, yeah, Southern California, I mean, Palm Springs, right? I guess, is that the lifestyle you live down there?
I guess so. I mean, Jeff, it's something that, you tune in on a Sunday, God's day, and you're sitting there watching with your wife because we cover golf. I mean, how uncomfortable would it be if you and your wife sitting there, and then there's just a wet T-shirt contest going on after the championship?
So unfortunately, I stopped watching. I wasn't like you. You tuned in for the ceremony. I watched the golf and stopped watching. But I'm all for it. I think anything that's going to bring more attention, maybe you were talking about off camera, your trip to Florida beaches and kind of the swimwear that's acceptable nowadays. They made that little pool there for that reason, to jump in it. Maybe you have a little pool party, beach party going on during the tournament.
I completely agree. I mean, it would not hurt, the telecast, bringing in some, some attractive people. Again, like we're not sexist on this podcast or YouTube show. We'll bring in the boys, bring in the girls. It doesn't matter. Okay. If you want to be both boys and girls, go for it. I mean, as long as it's, helping the viewership.
I think whole new element when it goes to Phoenix and they've got the Phoenix Open. It's a whole new element.
So that's, Ben, I'm glad you brought up the point. So I thought of a new idea, coming down the stretch, hole 16 at TPC. I mean, what an opportunity. Instead of having giant grandstands, let's just put in one of those lazy rivers, and just have people swimming, drinking cocktails and screaming at golfers, right? Maybe
bars.
Exactly. I mean, swim up bars. I mean, I think this is a great opportunity, to increase social distancing, and you might catch a boob, on the telecast. I mean, if Harry Higgs is playing, you might get a man boob, and maybe you get a lady boob. You never know, but these things are opportunities. So that was another thing. The Stewart Cink is walking away with $1.1 million after a win in a really non-exciting event at all. I mean, Napa course was okay. The golf was okay. I mean, whatever. You got a major championship. She walked away with less than $500,000. And she had to go swimming. But
as the caddy that went full send found out, that lake is only about 1.5 feet deep. So.
Did he not take a peek ahead of time? You're gonna have a banged up face for fucking.
That ain't going well.
In other golf news, something that was kind of hit close home to the Aloha Press. We at times try to emulate this this individual's career. Swing hard, drink a lot, smoke too many cigars. I mean, John Daly announced that he had or has bladder cancer. Seemed like it was kind of a sad day. I mean, it was something that he addressed, that he needed to cut back the smoking and the 28 Diet Cokes. Jeff, I mean, the way of life that John Daly lived by. I mean, your reaction to his news.
Well, yeah, obviously, I don't want to see John Daly go, so hopefully he figures it out. Do I think he's really going to stick to a lifestyle change? Absolutely not. Maybe for a little bit, but that man likes to gamble. He likes to drink. He likes to smoke, and he likes to eat just fucking deep fried food. You're not gonna change that guy 40 something plus years later, 50 years later. So, but he played all right this week too. I saw him. He went under par.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Ben, it's something that, at times you swing hard and you try and get all the weight behind the ball. I mean, and John Daly has done that well for several years. I mean, what is your hope for this guy? I mean, he's only like 58 years old. Like, holy shit! Like he's actually pretty young.
Yeah, no, he's young. And putting a little weight. He's got a little more weight to put it behind it than most do. But I think he said that he's willing to give it, a little while. But obviously, if things don't kind of start to turn for him, he said he was just going to live life. And I guess, why not, right? Go do it.
You might as well. I mean, fuck it. I mean, we talk about putting it on black and letting it roll. I mean, I think if things don't go well for him, I think he might be the most entertaining guy for like the next year of his life.
I hope he does. It's kind of like when we talked about what would we do if we won that $15 million and would we live to spend it all? Dude, that's John Daly is that he did that. He lived that shit. I'd tell him, hey, what are you going to wither away for 6 years or just have one good year?
I mean, you might as well. I mean, let's roll the dice, John Daly. Let's go to Vegas. I mean, hell, hopefully we'll see you out at Augusta at the Hooters, when we go try and sneak in on at the Masters.
The only other guy I need to know how he's going to spend that $15 million if it wasn't him was Harry Higgs. What would Harry Higgs have spent his $15 million on?
Jeff, why don't you take this away? I mean, what do you think Harry Higgs is doing with $15 million?
Well, so here's the thing. One, we got to get him some new clothes. He needs a wardrobe change. Somebody needs to tailor his shit because man boobs and what my wife calls the pond, where your belly button creates a big crater in your shirt.
Yes.
Not a good look. I think he'd have fun, but I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go find that guy on Instagram once we get done doing this. Give him a follow, and I'm gonna ask him that question, Ben. See if we can get his attention.
You look like I saw the 2006 picture of Phil Mickelson today.
Right?
Mercy.
I didn't realize Phil. Phil was always chubby, but I didn't realize he was legitimately fat in that picture.
Yeah, he was big.
He was very big. And now he's like fucking. Good God, he's scary. Scary.
He's
skinny.
a terrible golfer now.
If you guys aren't aware, there's a couple people that we follow that we keep close eyes on, and it's definitely not who's that guy, Ben, you really like? Webb Simpson. We don't pay attention to that guy, right? Because he's a dirtbag. I've decided I don't like Webb Simpson. But Kevin Kisner decided to chirp back at an individual named Rex Chapman. I had to look up who Rex Chapman is. Apparently, he used to play basketball, maybe.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Ex-Phoenix Suns guard, I believe.
Okay,
Old
yeah.
school.
So old school guy. So he twittered. If you guys don't know, the Aloha Press has a Twitter account. We have 3 followers. If you want to follow us, if you want to be the 4th, let me know. Rex Chapman tweeted, my friend's parents have died from COVID and COVID-related issues. My parents are in and out of the hospital. One of my kids tested positive for COVID today. Forgive me if I'm upset over the 200,000 dead when the president told us 6 months ago we would be down to 0 cases in a few days. Kevin Kisner, who's a PGA Tour member, made the FedEx Cup Finals, who's going to be in the U.S. Open this week, decided to respond. Guess they couldn't follow the guidelines. Quickly after Kevin Kisner responded to Rex Chapman's tweet, Harold Varner III decided to like the tweet that Kevin Kisner chirped. And but Twitter response. What do you think? Ben, Kevin Kisner's in the wrong. What do we got?
I think that if you and I actually follow Kisner on Twitter, and I'll say this for him: the dude seems like he's a good dude. It's the danger of Twitter, right? It's you say something that is maybe an opinion, maybe it is taken out of context, those types of things, and it blows up on you. And I don't think that there was much malice behind it. But hey, at the same point, he's entitled to his opinion. Let him have his opinion.
I agree. There's probably that fancy word you use. What did you use? Malice. I don't think there was a lot of malice behind the text, but I think there was a few cocktails behind the text or the Twitter message. You know what I mean? Like, if our commander in chief can chirp at people, I mean, why can't Kevin Kisner, exercise his First Amendment right and just explain it? Clearly, if you were practicing, safe guidelines and all the protocols that are put in place, that you wouldn't be getting COVID, right?
It's the guy I would sit down and have a pop with. Yeah.
I mean, Jeff, it's one of those particular PGA Tour players that I think we would get along with. I mean, maybe we could sit him down at the round table, him and Harry Higgs now, who apparently has joined the crew. But I mean, what's your thoughts on this chirp back? I mean, we chirp at people all the time. I mean, either in person or on the interweb. But I mean, was he in the wrong here?
Well, first off, Harry Higgs is in the we'll take to the bar. He hasn't quite made the foursome yet.
Okay.
But here's my thing, and this is how I feel about social media. With work and with personal accounts, if you're gonna get on there to either bitch or cry or whine about something and make it public, get ready, because even if you intend it to be completely positive and you want your friends and buddies to support you, there's always going to be somebody that's going to say something you don't like. So you just got to deal with it. You don't want it to be public. Rex Chapman, keep your shit off of social media.
I completely agree. And, you open yourself up, you put yourself out there in the world, you're going to get chirped at. And, earlier this week, we posted some videos on YouTube, and sure enough, we got chirped at by, someone that commented, a beautiful YouTuber that apparently was someone that tried to lure us into watching her strip shows.
Well, you know what? See, you post a little video clip sneaking me in my underwear, and now you got strippers freaking coming on there.
See, that's the problem. So it was funny. Before you brought that up, I didn't notice, and I'll put it on the YouTube show, but she chirped at us 19 seconds into the show, and that was her comment, was 19 seconds and then her little link. And I'm like, now it hits me. Of course, 19 seconds, that's when Jeff was in his underwear. It was by accident. I mean, during the editing, process, it's late, you've had too many Heineken Zeros, and, you kind of make a few mistakes, and I apologize. I openly, just like Kevin Kisner, ended up apologizing for his tweet. I didn't see the apology from Harold Varner, though. I feel like we're missing something, but.
Oh, well. Basically asking for it by putting Jeff out there. You were just trolling for something.
Right?
You just got to put that tail out there. We can't attract, Ben to follow us on Twitter, but, we can get the, the fine lady from, I don't know which country she was from. She didn't speak English. Yes, I watched her video. Okay. Maybe I'll put it up on the show. We'll see. I don't know if YouTube took it down or not, but moving on.
All I can say, she's getting clicks.
She's getting clicks. She had 2 subscribers. We have 4, so we're getting there. So guys, really appreciate you guys jumping on. We got to wrap it up at that in our wrap up show of the Napa Smoky Classic and the LPGA event, and also updating you guys on the news. So Ben, Jeff, really appreciate it, guys. And we'll catch you guys later.
Rock on, brother.
Ben, say something.
Wearing all black.
Aloha! Here with JC and Jeff.
Ain't no time for school today.
Hitting bombs.
Hey, watch this punch cut lob wedge. Replace your Marshalls with Cardinal. They're better looking. They're serving drinks.
Got to hit bombs off the tee.
Phil talking about a guy taking a shit in the cut.
Mahalo!
That's what we did fireside with Phil.
Fire at the stick.
Hit bomb and attack the pin.